Welcome to John's Guitar Lounge Mobile here at the NAMM Show, and I am here with the wonderful Ali Handal, an amazing guitar player. Ali, thank you so much for being here.
Thanks, John.
How has your show been going so far?
So far it's great, and this is the first thing I'm doing, so I just picked up my badge and I'm like, fresh, ready to go.
That is awesome. I'm so glad to hear that. I'm so glad to have you here. For anybody who has not heard Ali play, and you must be living under a rock, I'm going to show a clip right now and show some of the amazing stuff that she can do. When did you start playing guitar, and what drew you to the guitar in the first place?
Jimmy Page brought me to the guitar, actually kind of via a cute boy. I was like, 12, 13, and this boy that I was taking guitar lessons in school. And he introduced me to the music of Led Zeppelin, and that got me like, oh my God, this is just, I've got to switch, forget about the piano lessons that I had been taking since I was little, and just 100% dedicated to guitar. Yeah.
Well, that
Led
is
Zeppelin.
so cool. Led Zeppelin.
It's not that original, but it's true.
That's classic. There is nothing wrong with that. I mean, Jimmy
yeah.
Page, for sure. Yeah. When did you know that you wanted to make your career in music then?
I think I always knew, but I was too scared to do that. Like, I grew up in a family where, you go to college and you become a professional, and I was on track to, and I was a good girl. Like, I got straight A's in high school. I worked my ass off, and I don't, back when I was in high school, there weren't a lot of female lead guitar players, even though I knew that's what I wanted to do, but I was too scared to kind of deviate off of the course of like what a good girl should do. So I got straight A's. I applied to college. I did apply to colleges in Los Angeles though because of Guns N' Roses.
Oh,
so
okay. Well.
I ended up going to school in LA and like going to concerts by myself, because I didn't really know any other people who were into like hard rock.
Yeah, and Sunset Strip and all that.
Yeah, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So I did do that, but I didn't start pursuing music as a career until my last year of college. I was really depressed. I was on track to go get a Ph.D. in psychology and become like a psychologist or a researcher or something,
Oh, wow, yeah.
And I was just miserable, and I was dating every long-haired guitar-playing guy I could find. And I just finally had this kind of aha moment of like, I don't want to be dating these guys. I want to be these guys, and I want to be a woman and do that.
Yeah.
So I decided to take a year after graduating to just be in bands and, start being a, professional musician, whatever that looked like, get part-time jobs to support myself.
Yeah,
and,
so many do, yeah.
So it was a process. It was a really long process. And I didn't release my first record until I was 30, which,
wow,
in rock and roll is considered over the hill. But that's total, can I swear?
Yeah.
It was total BS. I'll try not to swear. But yeah.
You can say whatever you want to.
Oh, I can't. I didn't know how
I
old your
try to be
students are.
kid-friendly,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
I don't know how many are out there. So
yeah.
Just a disclaimer, we might get a little...
That's okay.
A little blue on this one. So
I'll try not to.
That's okay.
But kids know you don't have to stop when you're 30. Even though 30 sounds ancient to any kid out there. So.
I think back to 30 and I'm like, wow, I really felt like I was old then. I wish I was 30 again for sure. I would kill to be 30 again.
Really? Not me. For me, it just gets better. Yeah, I didn't know what the heck I was doing at 30.
Well, that's a good point.
So. I feel like now I just don't care what anybody thinks. I don't care,
I'm into that, seriously.
I love that.
Seriously,
the older I get, the more I'm like, what I'm going to do, what I'm going to do.
Yeah,
Exactly.
For real. That is the way it should be. Just
Yeah.
do your thing and be original and be yourself. And you've done so many amazing things.
Oh, thanks.
You're a published author. You've spent a lot of time and a lot of effort really encouraging young women and girls to not only play the guitar, but sort of how to make it through the music industry when you choose that path. since it is traditionally such a male-dominated industry, and
It really
not that it
is.
should be,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
you know,
Traditionally
and you've
has
done it.
been, yeah.
Yeah, and you've been amazing at breaking down those barriers and getting, you know, and just encouraging people, and that's, you know, and that's just so cool.
I'd like to do more encouraging, you
well,
know, I mean,
oh, yeah.
and there's more women than ever playing lead guitar, which is great, but there's still not enough of us.
Still not enough. There are never too many girls playing the guitar. Never enough women playing the
never too
guitar.
many, yeah.
So, plug your book if you would.
Oh yeah, well, so I wrote a book. So I'm not crazy about the title of the book, but I didn't choose the title. It was Hal Leonard who chose the title, and you know, they did an amazing job with publishing the book. But they were looking for someone to write guitar for girls. Now, for me, you know, I never felt like there needed to be a separate book for girls. However, I will say, when they approached me about it, you know, I was like, well, it's going to be called Guitar for Girls, whether I like that or not. You know, for me, I would call it Guitar for, you know, beginning singer-songwriters, because what I did was I included all the advice I wish I'd had when I was 12 and starting the guitar. There's so much advice and encouragement that I needed that I didn't get, and I think that really held me back for a long time. You know, I quit playing guitar 4 times before I really, you know, kept at it.
Really? Wow.
Oh yeah, because
wow.
because I sucked. I was so bad, and I didn't understand that everyone sucks in the beginning. Everyone sucks. But I think with the culture, at least when I was raised, and I think it's still probably fairly similar, was boys were more encouraged in general to just go out and make mistakes. Whereas, and maybe it's also because I'm a firstborn daughter, it's very like, don't make a mistake, don't embarrass yourself, and there weren't many women playing guitar, so I just was very self-conscious of like going out in public and playing and trying to say improvise a guitar solo and sucking, which most people do in the beginning. Most people just suck, and you have to play through it. One of the guitar playing boyfriends I had wonderful advice for me that I pass along in the book. It's like, you know, you have to play through sucking and just hear it. And if you have good taste and you're a good artist, you'll know you suck. And that's why it's hard. You have to keep going and listening to yourself and be like, okay, what is it that I'm not liking? What's not matching like the guitar players that I love? What are they doing that I don't? You know, and kind of be able to kind of analyze that a little bit.
Yeah.
And I eventually got to the point where I love hearing myself play, which took a really, really long time. And it's kind of an ongoing process, as you know.
I'm my own biggest self-critic.
Always.
When I do a
We
lesson
always
video,
are.
I record
Yeah.
like 18 takes, and what they see at the end is like 3 hours of video condensed into like an 8-minute lesson or whatever, just
Yes.
because.
Yeah.
Which, okay, the cat's out of the bag on that one. Maybe I'll edit that part out. No, I won't. I'll be straight about it. No,
It's
and
good to be,
you're totally
but
right.
that's the other thing that I love about media now and the internet and all that stuff. You know, as opposed to when I was coming up, like back in the dark ages, like there were so many secrets. There were so many secrets about, and I didn't know how to do anything, and I couldn't just Google, you know, how did Joe Perry get that sound on the song? Like, I mean, I didn't identify the sound of Jimmy Page playing a slide guitar for years. When I was a teenager, I didn't understand that the reason I couldn't play that part and make it sound the way he did was because I didn't have a slide. Like, just really basic stuff that now you could just be like, hey, how did he play that song? And it's very common knowledge. It's very easy to find. So that's incredible for people coming up now.
Well, since you brought up the slide, I was actually going to bring up the slide later, but
Cool.
and I didn't have it prepared, but I've got a good friend named Doc Sigmeyer who makes these ceramic slides.
Oh, cool.
And so I was hoping you would accept one.
Thank you.
And use it, play it, you know, and see if you like it. He builds these by hand, a few different thicknesses and 2 different types of beveled edges, so you can get all sorts of like crazy tones out of it.
Thank
And
you.
so if
That
you
is
would like
so
that,
cool.
because you play some
That
killer
actually-
slide.
Thank you.
You
So
play some killer slide.
I would love to know if he can make one that's a little bit smaller. Because the thing that I find with slides, generally, they're too wide and they'll fall off because they're made for men's hands.
Well,
And
sure.
There's only one that I've found so far that doesn't fall off, and it's a super tiny one. But if
Oh, geez.
I can try this one, but I can tell it's a little bit wide for my finger.
Yeah, I
But
can see it's loose.
that's the
Yeah.
thing with,
Oh yeah.
with a lot of the gear and stuff. Another thing that I put in my book was like, don't feel like you have to have the guitar down at your knees like all my heroes did.
Yeah.
I used to wonder what was wrong with me. And I'm like, there's nothing wrong with you. You're a 12-year-old girl. Your arms are not as long as a 30-year-old guy. Like, it's just stuff that didn't occur to me as a kid. I just thought, oh, I just must not be good.
Well, and John McLaughlin plays up here, and Sonny Landreth, I mean, the guitar's almost touching his chin because that's how he can get the angle and do what he needs to do to make the music. And
but in rock and roll, it's so much more about like, I mean, there's about like the cool factor. I'm like,
for sure.
I still would like to hold it up higher, but it's like that balance, right? Like how high can I get away with and be as comfortable as possible by still looking relatively cool? But this is what I would love to. I'd love to check out the ceramic.
Doc at the Rocky Mountain Slides can make anything you want, so I will definitely get you his information. I'll get you in touch with him after this, and then you can reach it out to him.
Yeah, because I don't have a lot of experience with the ceramic. I love the really more thick metal ones, but I haven't really tried ceramic.
See, and the beautiful thing about ceramic is you get that like throaty growl from the like the metal, but you also get those glassy overtones, and so it can really just like cut through a mix like just so uniquely. So it really is like the best of both worlds.
Yeah,
so it's really a cool thing.
Oh, I will try that. That's great.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Awesome, of course.
Beautiful.
So I heard you wrote a song about your cat.
Oh, I wrote a song about my cat and recorded it twice with different cats. I followed my cat around with a microphone and got his meows and purring on the record. So yes, I am a crazy cat lady in waiting for sure.
That is okay. I'm sure that at least a few people out there are crazy cat ladies and crazy cat people too, and so I'm sure they're digging that. So tell me, if you would, about playing in. Again, for anybody who doesn't know, which again, you've got to be living under a rock because she's been doing this for a long time and she's toured all over the place doing this, but an all-female Aerosmith cover band, RagDoll.
Ah, tribute.
I'm sorry, tribute band. That's my mistake.
It's very
tribute
common,
band, of course.
We just because sometimes with a cover band, people have a different kind of association.
Yeah, no, for sure. And that I should not have called it.
We're still covering Aerosmith, but we, I took thousands of hours over the pandemic to learn Joe Perry's parts on all of those classic songs, note for note, and it did more for my playing than anything had. It was really, really good for my development as a lead guitar player.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, that's the reason I took the gig, because I love Aerosmith, but I was like, I don't know if I can do this. I don't know if I can play those parts. And I was like, but if I could, just imagine how great I would feel about myself. And, fast forward 3-4 years later, it's like, wow, I've grown so much as a player. So.
See, no matter what you want to do, you can do it. You have to put your mind to it. And certainly natural talent helps, I'm sure, but I think so many people don't realize how much work goes into really playing the guitar and honing your craft.
And my theory is natural talent. I don't even believe in that, really. No. I do believe you have to have an ear for music. You have to be able to tell pitches apart. You have to be able to hear. But I didn't have a natural talent. Maybe I had an ear. I definitely have an ear for music. But other than that, like I said, I sucked when I started. I sucked. And I don't suck anymore. I mean, I'm really, really thrilled with where I've gotten to as a guitar player, and I'm excited about the next things I'm going to learn, because I'm certainly not done. But yeah, I just don't, I reject the natural talent. I think most of it is hard work and kind of figuring out what you want to do and breaking that down into the small exercises and things that you need to do to get further. I would take, like when I was learning these solos that were way faster than I could play, much harder. But fortunately, in the era of like Hal Leonard had all these transcriptions of the solos already. There's YouTube, so I could slow it down to like 0.5, like half speed, and play along. But I would play one measure of the guitar solo over and at half speed until I could get it cleanly. And then it's a piece of cake to just do it faster. But yeah, it takes a lot of patience to do that kind of thing.
And there's an old adage: great guitar player will practice something until they get it perfect, and a professional guitar player will practice something until they can't play it incorrectly.
Oh wow, that's a cool quote.
It just
Wow.
gets ingrained in you.
And repetition is really valuable too. I mean,
Yeah.
that's one of the things I've gotten with RagDolls is we do so many shows. It really helps the more you repeat something in a live situation. It's very different from in your bedroom too, right? So it definitely helps.
You can even stage a show, and if you stage it for a week or for a month or 2 months or something, and then that first show when you've actually got the thousands of people in the arena and all that stuff in front of you. Oh, is there a difference? Well, like even if you stage the show, you've got the
energy is so different.
right.
We feed off of the energy of the crowd for sure. It's so much more fun.
It's got to be so much more fun.
Yeah.
So what is next for Ali Handal?
Well, I've got 2 showcases here at NAMM, so I'm working on that. And then,
which I'm looking forward to
yeah,
both.
I'm so excited to play that outside stage. It's a nice big stage. Stevie Wonder was on it last night.
Yeah,
I was like,
yeah.
damn! I got to play on the Stevie Wonder stage. Oh my God!
You are very deserving of it. Trust me, you really are.
Thank
Isn't that
you.
so cool?
Well, so basically, the next thing is after NAMM, I need to finish my record. I've been working on it for literally years.
Oh, wow.
My producer, Seth Atkins-Horan, he's amazing. And we started it right before COVID lockdowns.
Oh.
And not only did we have COVID that slowed things down considerably, but he got a full-time job as the lead engineer for Mark Mothersbaugh, who's one of the founding members of Devo. But he's a huge film composer now.
Cool.
So he's now has, before he was full-time producing artists, and now he's full-time working for Mark and also producing artists. So it's really slowed down the process, but I'm very close to finishing it and
That's
releasing
awesome.
the record this year. So
Have you got a title for it yet?
I think it's going to be Guitar Therapy.
Guitar Therapy.
Yeah,
Oh, I love that. That's great.
I think it's going to be Guitar Therapy. Yeah.
Awesome, Guitar Therapy. So check out Ali Handal's new album when it comes out. Will it be streaming or?
Oh, it'll
or
be everywhere.
Okay.
Vinyl, streaming, yeah.
Vinyl.
We're not sure
Get
who's
it on
going to be
vinyl.
putting it out yet, but that's part of what I'm figuring out. in the
Oh,
next
sure,
couple
sure.
months.
Well,
Yeah.
I'm going to keep watch for that. I'm going to tell everybody at home when that comes out, so you guys can all check it out. And
And I've got a single from the record that's already on
good.
streaming. It's called "Shut Your Mouth and Do Something." So you can check that out on Spotify and everywhere, Apple Music, all that stuff.
I think you probably took that line from my wife, Dana. So, she tells me that all the time. So I love that.
It's kind of a life philosophy.
That's going to be her new favorite song, I think, as soon as she hears
Aw.
it. Ali, thank you so
Thanks,
much for
John.
being here.
Thanks
This is
for having
awesome.
me.
I can't wait to see you play live. I've never seen you live before, so I got to see you twice
It's gonna
this
be
weekend.
fun.
It's going to be awesome. Thank you so much for
Thanks,
doing this
John.
and being here. Subscribe to John's Guitar Lounge. Check out more from the NAMM Show right here on my channel, and subscribe to all of Ali's stuff, because trust me, her stuff is real musician stuff.
Thanks.
She does awesome stuff, and you are going to have a real treat seeing all of it, guys. Take care.
Cheers.